Hiya guys! Today we are going to be making Vivi from Final Fantasy IX. So much happens in today's videos. We experience highs and we experience lows. But in the end, it was oh so worth it. So, let's go clay. So to start, I want the eyes to be really translucent so you can see through them. So I'm just mixing a very tiny bit of yellow clay with a larger amount of translucent clay. And my thought behind this is I kind of want to make his head a little bit hollow, so I am making a shell kind of around a ball bearing to get the right shape, and I'm just going to shape out and then cut out the eyes. Now that his eyes are how I like it, I'm going to take the translucent yellow mix and I'm going to place them on, adjusting as needed to fill in all the gaps. All right, now it is baked. You must wait until that ball bearing is cooled because it gets very hot. I obviously missed a spot, so I'm going to just kind of tuck in a couple little snakes of black clay into the holes. Now for the light. I'm just taking a large ball of black clay to make sure that it is about the right size to match the little round part that I did. And I am just sticking the light in and pressing the face shell onto it. And I'm adding a little bit of bacon bond because some of it did crack just a little bit. And yeah, cracks are an issue. As you can see, it cracked pretty nasty in the oven, especially right there where the wires come out, but it is fixable. I'm just gonna take some bacon bond, stick it into the crack, and then when it bakes, it'll look more smooth. And I'm just taking out some black clay and pinching it around the sides so it'll be easier to blend. I'm gonna wrap it around Vivi's head as if it was a bonnet. And I'm going to blend, because I want this to look as seamless as possible and not like a snake of clay was blended onto his head. Now that everything is all blended, I am really happy with how it looks. It looks pretty seamless, and it'll look even more seamless once it is baked. As you can see, it looks pretty much like it was one piece of clay, and the crack went away for the most part quite nicely. I'm gonna make his body starting with a teardrop shape, and then I'm going to kind of cut the back at an angle for the wire to fit through. Now that his neck is all blended in, I'm going to start working on his pants. So I make a butternut squash and I cut up the top, cut off the top, to make his little booty lower body area. And for the legs, I'm taking just a little log of clay and I'm pinching out the ends to flare it out and then pinching the bottom together to be the part where his feet will go onto, his ankles. They're called ankles. I adjust the body size as needed and I am pretty happy with how everything looks. I'm happy with the size and the proportions, so I'm just gonna blend and blend. But his legs were looking a little skinny and Vivi wears really baggy pants, so I just added a little bit more blending together to bulk up his legs some. Okay, and now that his legs are bulked together, I am making his shoes. I figure out later they're way too small. Now I'm gonna work on the stripes for his pants. So I roll out some like greenish clay. I'm going to place it on ever so gently and realize it's much too large. So I will trim them and go for a take 2. And I'm pleased. I'm just gonna press it in using my silicone tool to make it look a little bit more seamless and less like it's just something laying on top of the clay. I want it to look more like it's just like a solid piece. Now I'm just adding a few more details to make it look more like pants, more like clothing, to give it a more organic feel. And now I'm going to add some blacks to the bottom of the shoes for the the soles of the shoes. And yeah, I think I know something's wrong. So I make them again much larger because Vivi has very cartoony looking feet. And I did have it zoomed in for something, and I forgot to zoom it back out, so I'm sorry that everything is so close. And there we go. I figured it out. So now that he has shoes and a wire through his foot for a base, now I'm just gonna make his belt. Just taking a brown strip of clay, and then using silver clay to make the buckle and the clasp. And now I'm going to just stick a wire through his upper body that I will use for the arms. But first, I will bake him. Now that he is baked, I did take a wooden base and drilled a hole through it for the wire to sit in so he has somewhere to stand. So satisfying. All right, he fits in a little bit better now. So I took the wire out for his arms, and I'm just taking some blue clay, and I'm going to make his jacket. I will struggle, but I will succeed. This is my second attempt at making his jacket, and I feel like it came out much better this time. I'm just moving things around to make everything textured, to make it appear a little bit more like it's a jacket. And making his little collar that comes up pretty high, and adding the little details. I'm just adding some little grommets for his straps, and then putting on some straps on his jacket. Oh no. Put the wire back in, but that's okay because the arms are gonna go over it, so it's okay that it is a little bit messed up. I'm gonna trim the wires. He has been baked again. Now, isn't this camera angle so much better? You can see a little bit better what I'm doing since he is in an upright position. I hope you guys like this. Let me know down below if you do like this kind of camera angle for larger things. Okay, now that I have his arms kind of positioned how I want them to, I'm gonna go ahead and make his staff because I figured it would be easier to build his hands around the staff since that's what he's going to be holding, and it's gonna be kind of a support for all. I'm just gonna texture it up so it looks a bit more like wood, adding the little cloth wraps that are on it and dusting it with some chalk pastel, and I love how it came out. I have baked the staff, so now I'm just working on his gloves. I'm just doing the little mitten hand type of thing, so I don't have to worry about fingers because hands are difficult, y'all. I like the mitten hands. I am using Bacon Bond to secure an ouch! That thumb has got to hurt. So after I fixed his thumb, I baked him again using some foil for support. Now I'm going to work on his cuffs that are at the bottom of his gloves, using some beige and some brown clay for the details, and just pressing it into place using a little bit of Bacon Bond to keep it secure. And I oopsed. It's backwards. Oh well. Okay, and now I am going to work on his hat. I am very painfully drilling a hole into his head to hold a wire that will hopefully support his hat. And I am just rolling out a large circle until I am happy with the shape and the size, trying to keep it smooth. Okay, and I'm really happy with that shape and that size, so I'm going to go ahead and put some Bacon Bond and put the top part of the hat on. And now for the pointy top of the hat. This was a challenge, but actually a really lot of fun to do, and it didn't look right, so I fattened it up a little bit. I'm kind of squishing it, making it a little bit more slumpy until it looks like Vivi's hat. He has a very distinct hat, so the hat had to be right. I'm just gonna get everything smooth because I don't want it particularly lumpy, and I'm going to add little details into it to make it look more like a slumped hat because it is fabric, adding the little stitches and the lines as I go. I've added some cuts into his hat and some more stitches and cleaning things up because my goodness, this clay got dusty. And goodness. But that was an easy fix. I just cut the wire, stuck it back on. Fortunately, the wire came through the cut, so it was pretty easy to hide. I'm just using an orange-brown clay mixture, and I'm going to be using that for the strap that goes around the base of his hat. And I'm just adding a few more details to the hat, and honestly, I'm so happy with how he comes out at this point. I'm so proud. Well, that happened. So, as unfortunate as it is, he did break. His legs broke from lack of support, and because he fell, his hat broke, which leads me to believe that he was already baked when his legs did finally give out, which is why his hat cracked. But to fix his hat, I just took some more of the same color clay, and I made the same basic shape of what had broken off. And I just made sure that I got everything as blended as possible. Fortunately, Vivi's hat does have a handmade look to it, so I just added some more stitches so the seams looked like they were meant to be there. And I think it fixed up pretty nicely. It didn't take me too terribly long to fix it, and I'm happy with it. Okay, and now I'm going to add a gel stain to the wooden base to make it just look a little bit nicer. And now that the top part of him is fully baked, it's not too bad. I'm happy with how it looks, considering. So I'm going to take some super glue gel and I'm going to glue his feet to the wooden base, and then I'm adding glue to his legs, and I am holding him on forever because I'm scared. But he stands on his own, so now I can move on to the wiring, which is difficult. I am not someone who knows how to do this. All I know is positive goes to positive, negative goes to negative, but I did my best. I got frustrated, but I did not quit, and I'm happy with it. I will link below the lights and everything that I use, so that way you can maybe get your own. And here he is, guys. I just absolutely love how he came out. The light actually works. Is it perfect? No, but I think it's a great start. I was able to fix his hat, and his legs look pretty darn good. And doesn't this look so cool? I love it. That is it, guys. I had so much fun making this Vivi. It was fun and scary, kind of just stepping out of my comfort zone, but I'm really happy I did it because I love him so much. I'm kind of terrified that something's gonna happen to him. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up so I know that you enjoyed it, and go ahead and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and ring that notification bell. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Go have fun doing it, whatever you are doing, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.